Central American and Caribbean Games are the oldest continuing regional games, the games in 1962. I'm your host.
I saw Yvonne and Chief Executive Officer Ryan Foster, members of the management team of JOA, managers generally, ladies and gentlemen. And out of a visionary sense for tomorrow, that the Jamaica Olympic Association, the JOA, is in investing today in the CAC Games for tomorrow's Olympic Games, when and where the hopes of our athletes will be inspired, their aspirations will crystallize, and when and where their ambitions, their dreams will be realized. In that regard, for the JOA, the CAC Games is a laboratory, a testing ground for the mettle of performance, the courage and resilience of character, and the breadth and depth of an athlete's humanity. And so as I welcome you this morning, the CAC Games, while being the forerunner of the Olympic Games, is for the JOA of equal importance with the Games of the Olympiad. For us, it is not a development meet, but the Olympiad of the region, which has produced and continues to produce generations of excellent athletes. This year will mark our largest team to the Games, and we at the JOA are proud of the achievements of our athletes and are grateful to them for yet again inspiring a nation. Make no mistake, the work of an athlete is hard, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It is a sacrificial journey, yes, for personal ambitions, but more importantly, friends, for love of country and pride in the motherland. And we, as sport governors and officials, must recognize and applaud this and encourage and develop that ethos in athletes where it may be absent. If we are not serious about athletic and facility development, responsible in the deployment of resources, human and financial, strategic in the business of sport, and business-like in building a sport industry, then we will always stand on the threshold and not enter upon the promised land.
Remarks about this important upcoming event. Colombia feels so grateful, and you know, in this moment the world is focused on the World Soccer Tournament, and this is one example of what sports bring to the communities, to the nations, and I'm sure that those vibes will remain on the Caribbean and Central American community for these games. With the president of the Jamaican Olympic Association, we have several initiatives that we are ready to follow his instructions on what steps we can do in order to get more benefit from the attributes in track and field or in soccer, for example. And Mr. President, we are ready to follow your instructions on that sense. These games probably will serve as a good opportunity for the next Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2 years ahead time. That means that we wish all the best for all nations that will participate, but especially all the best for Jamaican teams that participate in the Games. Thank you very much.
As you would have heard, the history behind the CAC Games regionally. The 23rd staging of the Games will see Jamaica's biggest contingent. At last Games, we sent 135 athletes and 40 officials. This time around, we aim to send 183 athletes and 74 officials. This is by far the biggest sporting contingent that has ever left our shores. The opening ceremony is set for the 19th of July, and the Games will run straight through until August 3rd. Of the 17 disciplines that we'll be participating in, 2 will be in Cali, while the rest will be in Barranquilla. The 2 in Cali will be squash and cycling. New events this time around, we'll see swimming, water polo, I believe, is qualifying for the first time. Wrestling, I also believe, is for the first time, and we'll also have shooting, and I believe karate is also qualifying for the first time. As mentioned before, the CSC Games doubles as a qualifier for the Pan Am Games and the Olympics. You will obviously see that there's a major emphasis to break out from the traditional sports, track and field, for instance, as the JOA is seeking to expand and broaden the scope. And whilst we do that, we will also further or maintain our attitude towards competing in a friendly rivalry with our Caribbean partners. I have a very hard-working team. Assisting me is the Deputy Chef de Mission, Mr. Lawrence Garrix, and I have managers, Mr. Lane Walker-Brown, Mr. Wayne Thompson, Mr. James Pearson, Mr. Gregory Hamilton, Ms. Amika Livingston, Ms. Juliet Campbell, Mr. Canado Wright, Mr. Audley Boyd, Mrs. Denise Wisdom, and Mr. Pascal Wisdom. And that constitutes the management team of the CSC Games. I have every confidence that the team will go there and acquit themselves very well. Because of the size of the contingent, we all won't be leaving all at once. We have narrowed it down to the periods of which they will be competing. So teams will be coming in, competing, and leaving right away. So not everybody will be there for the opening ceremony, not everybody will be there for the closing ceremony. All of that has been clearly planned and thought out. And I assure you, in closing, that we expect good results.
Second VP, he's also director of the, well, the chef would have indicated a couple of things. Games, we're our largest contingent ever. The last
Okay. Go this way from guys. Step.
Yes, I'm Tony Robinson and JKF Federation Karate. This is a milestone for us because the first karate is really our chance to enter a games of this magnitude. We've been knocking at the door for so many years, and it's really heartwarming to know that we find out representative in Shakima Cunningham, who I know will do her best. She's a trooper. She has won gold medals all over the world, in Greece, US Open, all over, right? So she's doing hard training about 6 hours per day, putting the work. She bypassed US Open this year to put in her efforts to enter CSA Games. So we wish her all the best, on behalf of all martial artists in Jamaica, that she will go there and really bring home a medal, or if not, it shows what she's worth as she represents Jamaica.
Sean Barnes, right?
Yeah, this is a big opportunity. It's our first time participating in a CSC Games. So I'm going out there hoping to gain as much exposure and experience, gather as much information as I possibly can, so that I can come back and further aid in the development of our sport. Shooting sports in Jamaica has really grown drastically over the past couple of years, and this appointment today shows that we're getting some recognition in the sport. And through this opportunity, I hope to even grow the sport even further, bring it to heights that it has never seen before, and set a blaze and a trail for persons who intend to follow me. This is an honor. It is something that all the persons, all the other athletes of Jamaica who I look up to have been standing in shoes like these. And to be able to say that I'm amongst these people is indeed an honor. It is an honor to represent the country, it is an honor to represent our sport, but it is even a greater honor to know that our sport is getting the recognition to be able to stand amongst and rub shoulders with these great athletes.
Well, just means an excellent feeling to finally represent Jamaica on a big scale, such as the CAC Games, and it's a good feeling to know that we're incorporating a psychologist. Somehow we need it, especially me, but it's a good feeling, it's a good look for Jamaica and for badminton.
And I'm proud to be in partnership with the game, because basically the ultimate role is to mold the minds of our players. Because once you're mentally fit, then you know that the game will be able to execute what they have, the God-given talent. And that is my role right now, to ensure that our players are mentally prepared to go and execute. That is my role on the team right now. Thank you.
I'm Raymond Anderson, and I'll be the director in charge of the entire committee delegation that leaving us. As the president and everybody before me alluded to that, this will be the biggest delegation ever. And we want to put that in its perspective where we get more medals. We're just not going to really participate, we're going to compete. And from our team, from the JOA side, is to ensure that we assist in every way we can to ensure that the athlete get the best support. Because as you're aware, we are not like the technical staff. We are just the JOA, and we want to ensure that the entire protocol take care of, the welfare taken care of. And where representation is concerned from our side, we will ensure that all athlete and management team is well and satisfied and comfortable to participate. In terms of the result, that will speak for itself. I know our people, and we are not going there for party, we are going there to compete.
Well, the truth is that I think we will be very well represented. I think we have a decent unit, and of course we'll be part of the process of getting to the World Cup, and the team will go to the CAC Games as I would think part of the training. This next stage of the World Cup qualifiers will actually be held in Jamaica. So we are hoping that our home advantage will put us in good stead, and we will move on to the next step of the World Cup qualifiers. I think we have a pretty decent unit going to the CAC Games, and I do hope that we will do ourselves proud, the JFF, the Olympic Association, and Jamaica, and that we will qualify for a medal. I remember some years ago, I think it was at the Pan Am Games, that we got into the finals. I think it was Uruguay that defeated us 2-1 with the likes of Eric Verne and Dwayne Carr and Joseph and James Thomas, that set of young players. I think we led 1-0, and then we lost out on what I perceived to have been a controversial penalty. But I think that might have been our best results, and that though would have been the Pan Am Games. But like I say, I do hope that we will come home with a medal at the end of the CAC Games. No, it will be a little bit more than our local base, because we are bringing in some members of the real Jamaican senior women's team, and some of them are of course based overseas. So it will be a true representation of a Jamaican female team.